Coming up on OU Nightly, we're going to talk about the chance for storms this weekend, plus your Thanksgiving forecast coming up.
And the chances of OU making it into the Big 12 championship, an expert breaks it down. Plus, some big changes coming to FAFSA, how you may be affected. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Noah Mack. We begin tonight with breaking news.
Just coming into our newsroom, the former boys basketball coach and athletic director at Shawnee High was found guilty of sexual contact with a minor through technology. The Pottawatomie County District Court clerk confirms a jury found Ron Arthur guilty just moments ago. He was accused of making sexual advances on underage boys using the app Grindr. Arthur is set to be sentenced in February. We will keep you updated on this breaking story.
And now we turn to possible severe storms heading into the weekend.
OU Nightly meteorologist Chloe Arroyo has that breakdown for us. Chloe, what can we expect?
Indeed, a change in the weather pattern heading into this weekend. We have a marginal risk for severe weather, mainly in central Oklahoma. Now, the risks of this. We're talking about damaging winds, large hail associated with this, and that's a possibility. It's strong to severe, so like I said, it's a marginal risk, so it's on the lower end, but still something to keep in mind. Heading into Saturday night into Sunday morning, I'll have the details on that here in just a bit. Now, if you're out of town this weekend or heading out of town, temperatures a little on the cooler side. We had a cool front push through this morning, cooling us down into the 50s, and we'll continue to feel a little cooler heading into tomorrow. Now, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about more details on the severe storms on Sunday, the risk for fire danger on Tuesday, and even your Thanksgiving forecast on Thursday, all coming up here in just a bit.
Thank you, Chloe. As OU gets ready to take on the Cougars, it's coming down to the last stretch as whether or not the Sooners can make the conference championship. OU Nightly's Dakota Wapakichi talked with an analytics professor within the sports business program on campus.
Yeah, these numbers right here are the percentage chances according to ESPN for each of these three teams to win this weekend's games, and these are a lot of numbers that play into who's going to make it to Arlington, and this can cause quite a bit of confusion.
The top of the Big 12 standings are dense, and the tiebreakers aren't easy because every team hasn't played every other one in the expanded conference. Now, the math can be in-depth, creating many possibilities for at least one Oklahoma team, if not both, to make the conference championship.
Well, I can tell you that the chances are that we've got a really good chance based on probability. There's always the what if.
Now, Daly says don't get hung up on these numbers because there's a lot of things that really aren't included, like missed big plays or simply pure luck.
We have to look at other variables besides like point scoring and things of that nature. Things like history matter.
It's so complex, websites are now popping up as resources for fans to test theories of who they think will win out. So, how do we get Bedlam again? Iowa State would have to beat Texas and Kansas State, and OU and OSU would need to win out. There are scenarios for the Sooners and Cowboys where they win out, but miss out on the championship game.
Now, it's really between the Sooners and Oklahoma State and Kansas State trying to get that final spot with Texas only having one conference loss. Now, if the Longhorns do lose, however, it could cause some craziness going into the final week. In Norman, Dakota Wapakichi, OU Nightly.
Thank you for that, Dakota. Definitely keeping our fingers crossed here. And if you're planning to apply for FAFSA for the next school year, the application will look a little different. Instead of filling out more than 100 questions, the form is now shrinking to under 50. The Department of Education says this will help make the application process easier for students. But the form will be released 2 months later than usual, with the DOE saying it'll be out around the end of the year. For help with filling out the form and other financial questions, you can set up an appointment with an OU Money Coach at the Student Financial Center in Buchanan Hall.
Gaza receives aid as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. Spencer Tabb has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Israel's war cabinet approves for 2 fuel tankers to make regular deliveries to Gaza to support their water and sewage system. A U.S. State Department official says 140,000 liters of fuel will be delivered every 48 hours. This comes after Palestinian health officials say damage from Israeli strikes or a lack of fuel shut down a majority of hospitals and medical clinics. The U.S. Department of Education launches investigations into 7 schools over alleged incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. The department official says the schools include a K-12 school in Kansas and 6 colleges, including Cornell and Columbia University. If schools do not comply with recommendations made after investigations finish, they risk losing federal funding. Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter enters hospice care at her home in Georgia. In May, the Carter Center announced that the 96-year-old was suffering from dementia. The nonprofit, founded by former President Jimmy Carter, says the family remains grateful for the outpouring love and support they continue to receive. Jimmy Carter also entered hospice care back in February. And Honda recalls nearly 250,000 vehicles due to an engine issue that could increase the risk of a fire or crash. Noah, Victoria.
Thank you for that, Spencer. The OU American Sign Language Club gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. OU Nightly's Stone Weber has the story.
At OU's last Saturday home game in the Big 12, the American Sign Language Club did something for the first time in their history, signing the national anthem at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. And although the group has been practicing for months, there were some pregame jitters.
It was really nerve-wracking. There were a lot of emotions going on. People were nervous, but it was also like excitement. We were so ready to be out there. We just hated waiting off to the side and just knowing that we were going on in any minute.
But once they started, it was business as usual.
Once we got out there, it just felt like we had done it a million times. We had practiced on the field beforehand, and so we knew where we were going to be, how it was going to look, and it just became real.
And although they're at the University of Oklahoma, performing the national anthem connected an unlikely friend.
Also, one of our officers, after we were out on the field and she went up into the stadium to sit with her family, there was a family sitting behind her from West Virginia that was deaf, and they were saying it's so amazing that we have an ASL club and we were able to do that on the field and to represent them. They were very appreciative.
According to a 2019 U.S. Census, 194,000 Oklahomans, or 5% of the state's population, are hard of hearing, and that number reaches OU's campus.
Everybody realizes that there's a deaf population of students on our campus, and so to be able to represent them and just get that awareness of sign language out in the open was really, really great.
Stone Weber, OU Nightly.
Thanks for that, Stone. And if you're wanting to learn more about ASL or OU's deaf community, check out OU Engage for more information.
With Thanksgiving just around the corner, food banks and nonprofits are looking to give back and support our local communities. Campus Care Coordinator Matt Marks and the OU Food Pantry have teamed up with local grocery store Crest to make over 500 Thanksgiving to-go packages containing mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, bread rolls, and more.
Yeah, well, our goal is to get rid of all of the bags and hand them out. We're going to have a lot, I think, that will carry over into next Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving. But this is more than we put together last year. Last year we did about 400, and like I said, we put about 520 bags together this year. We just hope to hand them all out before Thanksgiving.
If you're looking to get your hands on one of these to-go packages before the holiday, head to the food pantry located in the Cates Center. The pantry will be open next Tuesday, the 21st, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the Pride of Oklahoma is diving into the world of heavy metal.
Find out what title the Pride is competing for when we return.
Plus, a look at the weather coming up right after this.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed. When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Now this morning, I'm sure you noticed a little bit of a cool front push through. You can see that line of that cold front. We still have some lingering cooling temperatures because of those clouds lingering. Now you can see this strong line right here. This is where the clouds are. This is where the clouds have dissipated, so those temperatures have warmed up pretty nicely for those people off in the north and west part of Oklahoma. Current wind speeds, we're seeing northerly winds, nothing too significant. They picked up a little bit, especially yesterday and this morning along that cold front especially. Now temperatures can be in the 60s, mid to upper 60s, 66 around 2 and 4 p.m. Then we'll dip down into the lower 50s heading into tonight and Saturday morning as well. So we'll continue to be seeing those fall-like temperatures heading into tomorrow. 65 degrees for your afternoon high, mostly sunny skies, and then Sunday afternoon is when we're going to see that chance for some storms possible, some showers likely, but the chance for some strong to severe storms, something that we can't rule out. So it's definitely a shift in the weather pattern. Here's a look at what we're tracking off to the west. This is our next big weather pattern and our next weather maker. You can see off to the Pacific, that's where the moisture is really coming from through this storm system, and you can see this off along the dry line pushing off towards the east. This is our first round. This is going to be late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, that chance for strong to severe weather possible, and on the back end of that you'll see the next round. This is Sunday afternoon, so we have lots of chances for some isolated showers and storms. Some could be strong, some could be severe. Now like I said earlier, the chances for damaging winds and large hail are possible with that. But take note of that dry line. It's a pretty strong dry line, and heading into Monday and Tuesday, we'll also have some wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. And when you have the winds, you have the drier conditions, a lower relative humidity. You're going to want to watch out for the fire weather risk as well on Tuesday, Monday night, Tuesday morning, and even into Tuesday afternoon. Something to keep in mind as we head into the rest of the week. So a little bit of a fire risk. So take those precautions as much as you possibly can heading into Tuesday afternoon. Now the rest of the week, though, feeling a whole lot nicer for Thanksgiving. Your forecast into the 50s and even the 40s. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll be in the fall-like temperature range into the 60s and even dipping down into the lower 50s, 57 for your high on Turkey Day. So I want to ask you guys, what are you guys thankful for, and why is it weather?
Well, I actually do like this cold weather.
Yeah.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my mom's mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, wow.
Sounds so good.
See, I was going to say our team at the desk and behind the cameras, but now you got me thinking of food. My mom's mac and cheese is pretty good. Thankful for you too, Chloe.
Thankful
Can you
for
get
your
some of
cream
that to
corn.
go for me?
To go?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't do to-go plates in my house. It's gone. What about you? What are you thankful for?
Well, I'm thankful for the food, seeing my family. It's just the best time of the year.
Thank you, Chloe. And when you think of heavy metal marching bands, probably aren't the first thing you think of. But Metallica is changing that with their Whom the Band Tolls high school and collegiate marching band competition. Competitors from all over the nation, including our very own Pride of Oklahoma, are competing for the title with Metallica-themed shows. You can vote for the Pride of Oklahoma marching at MetallicaMarchingBand.com. And OU football heads west to the Cougar Cage for one last road test.
Our OU Nightly sports team will preview the matchup live from Provo and all this weekend's action on the Sooner slate. Coming up next on Big Friday Sports.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got your back. I got you.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel. It's Oklahoma's first time at BYU, and Sooner fans are hoping its first win against the program, too. OU Nightly's Pierce Levelholtz and Stone Weber are live from out west in Provo to preview the Clawdown.
Hello, I'm Stone Weber, alongside me Pierce Levelholtz, and welcome to Provo, Utah. We're here ahead of tomorrow's matchup between 14th ranked Oklahoma and BYU, the first ever matchup between the Sooners and the Cougars as members of the Big 12 Conference.
Yeah, this will also be Oklahoma's first time playing in the state of Utah, so a lot of firsts for the Sooners this weekend.
And with just 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, senior wide receiver Drake Stoops is heating up at the right time.
He's a strong young man, and that's made a decision to be excellent at what he does and value all the opportunities that he's had. And then his toughness and grit that he represents, man, that's what you want your whole program. What program doesn't want to represent that?
Yeah, and another guy who's heating up at the right time is Dillon Gabriel. The Hawaii native idolized former Hawaii quarterback Colt Brennan, who Gabriel just passed for the 10th most passing yards in career history.
Just a special thing. It's kind of crazy to look up to a guy, and you obviously playing at this level now. I remember my Colt Brennan posters, and wearing the specific helmet that he wore with the Oakley visor. Just certain little things like that, I think, kind of just make me smile.
The first time that Oklahoma. This is the first time that Oklahoma will have the earliest kick time in school history, a 10:07 local kick time.
And even earlier than that, don't forget to tune in to Game Day U tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. We'll have everything you need to know ahead of tomorrow's matchup. Reporting from Lavelle Edwards Stadium, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Stone. Defensive lineman Jonah Laulu returns to his roots when OU rides into BYU territory Saturday. At Big 12 Media Days in July, OU Nightly's Brig Bates spoke one-on-one with the defensive lineman and Utah native on the Sooners defense.
I'm Brig Bates. Welcome back. Alongside me with Jonah Laulu, defensive lineman at OU. Second year under Brent Venables. Tell me a little bit, about the team's buy-in this year. First year, a little bit of struggle on the defensive side, but how's it looking coming into the fall?
I think we're getting a lot more confidence this year for sure. Second year in this system, learning Brent Venables and Coach Roof's defensive minds. Very smart guys, and so they have a lot to pour into us, and we just got to be able to take it all in, and take that knowledge in, and then produce it on the field. So I think I'm very excited for this season, for these guys coming in, all these new guys, because they have us to lean back on as far as the scheme and how the philosophy works. And, I think we brought the right guys in, and we just got to go out there and execute.
So I imagine most football players are kind of look good, feel good, play good kind of guys. What are some of those tactics you use? Maybe it's dressing up before the game. Fresh fade. I see you got one right now. So. Maybe a chain or two. I don't know. What's your kind of go-to?
Make sure you got to always have a fresh cut. Shout out my guy, AJ. You got to have a fresh cut. You can't be looking bad on game days. It's just oh dang, I heard Coach V say my name. I got scared for a second. He's I thought I was in trouble, but yeah. So I don't really have anything crazy I like to wear. I just try to make sure I have a haircut at least. Or I'm gonna get a text from my mom talking about you'll get a haircut.
That's all we have from Big 12 Media Days at AT&T Stadium. Reporting from Arlington, Texas, Brig Bates, Game Day U.
Thanks, Brig. It's a new era for the Big 12 newcomer BYU, bringing the West to the conference. And it's a new era for BYU, who's been independent since 2011. OU Nightly's Addison Arthur has more on the Cougs finding their footing in the storied conference.
I'm here at Big 12 Media Days, where there's been lots of talk about the Big 12 welcoming 4 new teams, one of them being the BYU Cougars. But the big question everyone is asking, is BYU ready for their Big 12 season debut and to host big teams like Oklahoma?
Fans of the Big 12 are going to find out that Lavelle Edwards and its fans love football just as much as anyone. So they can expect a lot of big, fun games happening at Provo.
To have such a storied program as Oklahoma come into town, how can you not get excited for that? I think that's going to be a crazy game, and we're all looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, to be able to host them and a lot of other teams that at this level, because I know a lot of these guys haven't had the opportunity to do that at home yet, because most teams want to play us at a neutral site.
The Cougars will face the Sooners on November 19th in Provo, Utah. The last time the two teams played each other was right here on this field in 2009. Reporting from AT&T Stadium at Big 12 Media Days, Addison Arthur, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Addison. When we come back, we'll talk all things Sooner sports.
From OU basketball legends to volleyball to wrestling, you won't want to miss it.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. If you're heading down to the game in Provo, Utah, especially if you're in Oklahoma, keep in mind those temperatures are going to be a little cooler in Utah, especially for tailgating. 38 degrees. Make sure you're bundling up. We'll warm up into the 50s, but not by much, especially considering we'll see a chance for rain, especially halftime and the end of the game. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Chloe. Some say if you love something, let it go. But others say sooner born, sooner bred, and when I die, I'll be sooner dead. And for one former OU coach, she can't get enough of giving back to the Crimson and Cream. Legendary OU women's basketball coach Sherry Cole is no stranger to the bright lights of the Lloyd Noble Center. But when she returned to campus, she traded out coaching on the hardwood for inspiring female students.
I think for whatever women's organization, whether it's in the College of Business or the College of Journalism, your sports reporting, your teaching, whatever it is, I think women supporting women is really, really important. And I love the juice I get from coming back and being around young women who are so excited about starting their careers, their professional lives, trying to find their way to make a difference in the world.
Cole hopes to make her own difference through her public speaking. She spoke to Women in Gaylord, a group connecting and empowering the women of Gaylord College at the university she owes it all to.
Well, it's important to come back because I love this place. And anytime you commit 25 years of your life to something, you're sort of embedded with it.
In Cole's time at OU, she coached her team to the Big Dance, 3 Final Fours, and 6 Big 12 regular season titles. In 2021, she decided to hand over the whistle to current head coach Jenny Baranczyk.
Jenny's fantastic. I tell her all the time, I'm really glad it was you. She's just stands for the right things. She loves the kids.
She's especially thrilled by the women she recruited who continue to dominate for the Sooner squad.
And proud of Tot and Skylar, who are still playing right now. And then, of course, Liz, I think, is injured, unfortunately, for the year. But those 3 are still my babies, you know. Once you recruit them, they feel like yours forever.
The Big 12 is all this Women's Hall of Fame coach knows. Cole's first year coaching at OU was the school's first year in the conference. And she holds it near and dear to her heart when it comes to Oklahoma joining the SEC.
I struggle with the move for our fans because for women's basketball, we had a group of fans that chartered a bus and they went wherever we played. Well, they can't do that to Florida. They can't take that bus to Alabama.
Since winning the most games as a women's head coach in OU's history, Cole's focus has bounced from the court over to pen and paper.
Well, both require an unbelievable commitment to the grind. You know, when you're a player or when you're a coach, you get up every day and you go to the gym and you work on your craft. And writing is no different.
Cole plans to continue writing book number 2 and motivating others. Reporting from the University of Oklahoma, Kaylee Jo Hummel, OU Nightly.
As for current head coach Jenny Baranczyk, her squad is ready for a duel. Securing a win Sunday means scoring the Sooners' second road win of the season.
And after repelling the Alabama State Hornets Wednesday 92-46, the number 25 Sooners charge into Charlottesville to battle the Virginia Cavaliers. Tip-off is at 1 p.m.
Moving over to the men, Oklahoma basketball is back, taking on the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. The Sooners ride into the LNC with 3 wins after not letting Texas State eat them up Tuesday, 93-54. Tip-off is at 7 p.m.
And for new addition Jalen Moore, he's proud of the way the squad has started the season.
I feel like the first 3 games have been good too. Shoot, we've been winning. We're playing how we want to play on the defensive end, offensive side. We're executing. So for me, shoot, it's been fun. Going on the offensive end, I mean, we already want to play defense hard and discipline. So I feel like it just gives us some more energy to go back down on the defensive end and get a stop so we can get in transition and get another bucket.
OU volleyball travels to the Queen City for a weekend doubleheader against Cincinnati. This will be the first matchup between the 2 teams since 2011 and the first at either team's home court. The match will begin tonight at 5 p.m., followed by another on Saturday at 5 p.m. as well.
Next on deck, OU wrestling hits the mat twice this weekend with matchups against Little Rock and North Dakota State. The Sooners battle the Trojans on the road today at 7 p.m. before returning back home. Oklahoma faces head coach Roger Kish's former team, the NDSU Bison, at noon on Sunday. Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports. I'm Kaylee Jo Hummel.
And I'm Melina Samir. Have a fun and football-filled weekend.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why